Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. Welcome to the Artcast.
Yes, welcome. And our guest today is Kristen, our producer.
That's right.
Not really guest, just more
Just
here for added
Our fill-in.
entertainment.
added entertainment.
We had a
Exactly.
guest scheduled, but there was a scheduling conflict, and we thought today we would talk about the importance of art and making creative people.
What inspired this was a TED Talk that I listened to.
Yes.
That is by Amie McNee, and it's called The Case of Making Art When the World is on Fire. And she just made such great points about why we should be making, we should be doing, we should be creating all the time. And she even brought up the idea that, you know, she'll hear somebody say, I don't have a creative bone in my body, which is
right.
the phrase that I hear all the time that drives me crazy.
Right.
Because we are all creative.
Exactly.
And doing and making can be like the other day I made 8 pints of tomato sauce.
Yeah.
That's making, that's doing. And I think we need to do more of that.
That's right. You can create a beautiful home, a beautiful yard. I was watering my mother-in-law's beautiful garden, and people walk by the house and they go, I love what you've done. I go, thank you, but I did not do this. But my mother-in-law is a creative, amazing gardener, and I think what she's done is her talent. She's got this skill that she knows how to put all these things together to create this beauty.
I mean, one of the reasons we started this was to, bring awareness to artists and how the community is wrapping around the arts as we celebrate them here in Coeur d'Alene. But one in particular incident happened, gosh, when was that?
Oh, it was pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, so maybe 2019, 2018,
somewhere in there.
An art piece was controversial for honestly no reason, and it was removed from its spot without, explanation nor the proper channels. So
Right, and I would say that it was a misunderstood piece of art.
100%. It was. It looked like a mile marker or something you'd see in a park somewhere. Well, it was in the park. It was down at Riverstone, right?
Right.
It was down at
In
In
the
the
park.
park.
But I mean, like a national park that would be like tell you signs.
It was one of the public art pieces.
It was, yeah. And it had been there for what,
3 years.
3 years. So it was a piece that, had a bunch of different old symbols for countries around the world that were revolutionary in the coal industry,
Yes.
correct? And so it included a U.S. symbol. Didn't it include a Chinese symbol?
A Korean symbol, I believe, and the symbol for the USSR.
Correct.
Which is the
sickle,
Soviet.
right?
Yeah, I think the sickle
hammer and sickle.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And one other one that I don't remember.
Right. But anyway, the whole concept was completely misinterpreted and raised a little bit of controversy within a certain community we have here in northern Idaho.
Who were offended.
Correct. That it was promoting communism or something along those lines. And there was the backlash, and I thought Jennifer Drake, who was the head of the Arts Commission at the time, handled it perfectly because the city removed it without the permission of the Art Commission, which I think was a big no-no. So one of the reasons we started this podcast was to educate on art and educate the community on what art means and what it stands for and how it can promote and how it can
make the world better.
Make the world a better
and
place.
Also how it's funded, because a lot of people have issues with some of the public art and where it's funded, and like, my tax dollars are going to this. And
it's the Public Works 1% initiative. So 1% of all public works above ground, that money goes to the Arts Commission.
Right. That was one of the reasons why we started this. And here we are 5 years later, still talking about art and all the creative people that we've met throughout the years. We just want to also challenge people to go outside and make.
And
create.
Or be inside and make.
Yeah.
The whole idea is to make. And I love this quote that came out of the TED Talk. Artists dare to imagine a different world. Creatives never leave the world the way they found it.
So true.
And I love that. I think that we have an opportunity to always make it a little bit better. Not saying that all art is happy and joyful, because sometimes it's dark. You know, when you think about some of the performances out there, there are some dark comedies, dark dramas, but there's a value in them. Maybe a lesson to be learned.
Well, you know, what's the old adage is that all art is subjective. Certain things may offend certain people, whether it's a performance or a painting or whatever it might be, a public art installation. For others would be inspiring, you know?
It can shed light on social awareness, on issues. And I mean, we're all in this book club that we read books that have been banned.
Correct.
And there's some great books that I hope that some kids and young adults get the opportunity to read some of those books that have been put on the banned books list.
The book we're reading right now is The Abundance of Catherines.
It's by John Green, who wrote
Fault in Our Stars.
Yes. It's a quirky little book, but at this point, I'm still not sure why it's banned.
Right.
So it's inquisitive, and it gets you thinking, and it's interesting how you said it's very subjective.
Yeah. Like currently what's going on right now is Burning Man is going on right now.
My nephew is there.
Oh, no
really?
way, really? But it is, for all intents and purposes, a huge art installation. That is one of the biggest things. The other thing, too, is it's all about community and people coming together.
Right.
I mean, they're really strict about what they call MOOP, which is matter out of place. No trash.
Right.
I mean, they do accumulate a lot of trash, but if you see something that's on the floor or on the ground that's not supposed to be there, you have to pick it up.
Right.
It's just your duty.
I love that.
But it is like a giant art installation. I would love to go to a
I
Burning
would
Man.
love to go to that.
There's so many other things also, like that art is therapeutic, and especially people that are dealing with trauma. You can get so much help by painting or sculpting, or we know someone, April Neer, she does some work with people that have therapy that, and through art, and kind of coming to the core of maybe some of your issues.
And remember, earlier this season, we talked to Elizabeth Wilkes, who not only is an art therapist, she actually used art to heal her brain after a traumatic brain injury.
That's right.
Which is pretty powerful.
Yeah. It's a crazy what it can do.
Right.
Being creative.
Well, and part of that story that I can't remember if was told when we had her on was that you and I met her at
the Mac and Cheese
Festival.
Mac and Cheese
Festival.
That's right.
And just sat down with her, and we just got to talking, and that's how that whole story came out. And we both, Allie and I, looked at each other, and we were like, "Oh, this would make a really good podcast."
Yeah, exactly.
So just in that conversation, sitting down with total strangers and having that open conversation with her, then that got our creative juices flowing.
Exactly. And also think of the art, how it connects to culture, and think of, like, we were just at one of the casinos celebrating Allie's birthday.
My birthday!
Happy birthday once again. And just walking around in that particular casino, there was beautiful glass art chandeliers with cattails and gorgeous things. And then they had photography of great Native American history.
Yes.
And it's just beautiful. And and the photography studio up in Sandpoint with
the Ross Hall.
Which, by the way, stay tuned, because we will definitely
That's a future podcast.
Yeah, that is going to be a future podcast.
Just the history that there's one in particular. Well, there's probably more than one, but she said he got photos of Native Americans, which was not common. Not common.
They didn't normally like to be photographed
because they feel it's against their.
But
it steals their soul.
Steals their soul. Yeah.
But that's that part of the culture.
Yeah.
That's, here, Ross Hall going around the country or mostly the Northwest at that point, understanding the culture in order to get the photographs.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, stay tuned for that because we
Cannot wait.
are
Find out
very
more
excited
about
to
that.
do that podcast and bring that information to you all.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Very
it's
soon.
like preserving our history also.
Yeah, and it's storytelling, which
Yes.
is an art form that I feel like we're losing a little bit. But really, I mean, that is what art is all about. It's a story you're telling, you're communicating something, an idea or a story.
Or you look at a painting and it brings up an emotion.
Right.
And you connect with it, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, I went to a gallery in Seattle when I was living there, and I did their art walk, whatever it was called back then, back in the 90s. And there was one gallery, and it was just full of semi-patriotic art, but then there was one that was, to me, a very offensive painting. And then there was a couple of offensive, to me, sculptures, and I was like, I had to walk out. I was like, this is too far.
Yeah.
For me, it was too
you.
far. Other people were, I mean, the place was packed and they loved it, and I go, it just rubbed me wrong. The artist probably could have explained it to me
And
perfectly.
that's the key, is finding out what the intention of the art was.
Right. And I think I had some descriptions, but it didn't work for me. But I appreciate the artists being creative, and they felt expressive and doing it this way. It just doesn't always jive with everyone. So.
Right. Add a little flair to your special events with Scraps Barbecue, a great catering choice for your next gathering. Specializing in golf tournaments, sporting events, weddings, and other family friend gatherings, their commercial kitchen can be on site, or you can choose to have a fully catered meal delivered right to you. Known for their authentic Santa Maria-style tri-tip and tequila lime fish tacos, they can customize the menu to meet your needs for groups of 20 to 2,500. Contact Kevin at kevin@scrapsbarbecue.com or check them out on Facebook.
Greetings, listeners of the Allie and Callie Artcast podcasts. This is Jason from Tubbs Coffee Roasters. Keeping art alive and culture relevant is the heart and soul of our community of creatives. And as a local coffee roaster who loves a good origin story of a painter or a farmer or a musician, we proudly support the Allie and Callie's Artcast podcast's expansion and exploration through positive conversation. So grab a cup of coffee, preferably one from Tubbs Coffee Roasters, and tune in, humans. Your ears will thank you.
So years ago, probably, I bet it's been 20 years ago, I actually had the opportunity to take an art therapy class. And probably the most important thing that I got out of that class was a really good description of what the creative process is, which is preparation, incubation, illumination, and evaluation. And these stages were first described by social psychologist Graham Wallace in The Art of Thought in 1926. But they are the foundation of how we view creativity. So preparation is when you're gathering the information, you're defining what the problem is, and maybe you're looking for some inspiration. Then there's incubation, which is you're letting the ideas develop. They're fermenting in your brain. And then there's illumination, which is the aha moment. Eureka! I figured out how to fix this, or at least an idea of how to deal with this or create whatever I'm trying to create. And then the evaluation is you're testing or you're refining the idea to see if it works. Sometimes that, and what my instructor went on to say was that it's sometimes getting confirmation from somebody else that you've created something, which could be as simple as taking your child's artwork from school and putting it on the refrigerator. It gives them some sense of value. And I think that is the feeling that you have created something. And what I love in my job, which I know I'm retired. I say I'm retired, but I'm not really. I've been a graphic designer for over 30 years. And that to me is creativity. Yes, I am working for a client, so I have certain parameters that I have to follow, but I'm putting myself in it, and I'm finding a way to illustrate what they want to communicate.
Right. And I would say I will probably go back to my acting days. So my preparation would be preparing the audition, getting the right material, making sure I'm there on time, which is really important, and then rehearsing, which to me is the incubation, I guess, the period, which I love the process. Sometimes I love the process more than the final product.
Right.
Because that's the time you're really connecting and working with people. So you're fine-tuning what you're doing, and whether it's the singing, acting, dancing, whatever, all of it. And then the eureka is kind of when it all gels together. Maybe it's opening night. That's your aha. We've done it. We're here. And then I would say the evaluation is how the audience responds.
Yeah.
And how your coworkers respond, your co-performers or your director or whoever. That's probably in my creative process of performing, and then and art, it's the same when I'm painting. I mean, it's more personal, not as easy about sharing my artwork. It's a little, because I feel like, I've been doing theater for 40 some years. I've only been really being an artist for the last, 10 years maybe. I don't know. I'm really kind of delving into it and kind of finding my style, which is kind of all over the place. So I evolve. But the process...
But better to evolve than not.
Yeah.
True that.
It's true. So it's kind of fun finding what also makes you happy. And that's the thing, is I started in water, when I started painting again, it was watercolors, which are very intense for me. And I tend to get too super critical of myself, and I love the results, but I'm not in the right frame of mind to do watercolors. I'm not free enough, and that's when I got into the acrylics. And then, during COVID, I got into the fluid stuff, which is totally freeing because you have no control over it, which is really good for me. And then moving into now more acrylics, going back into acrylics, and then actually I'm painting by numbers. Some of the colors they come up with, some of these paint by numbers are amazing. I use Craftoria. This is a little, hey, if you're listening, Craftoria, send me some paints. Anyway, that's just another fun way. It's also a great way to get motivated to start painting maybe more on your own, which is what I was needing because I was feeling a little stagnant. So that's kind of my process. What's your creative process, Kristen?
Well, I am definitely one of those people who I've always said I'm not creative. But then I have to stop myself and go, wait a second. You're kind of the root or the start of some very creative and innovative things. And so I have to give myself a little bit more credit than I usually do. But as a producer, I start the process. So if I'm working on this podcast and booking talent or coming up with ideas for new shows, or in the commercial world, it starts with a concept either from a client or the agency, and then they bring it to me and say, here's what we need to do.
Make it work.
Make it work. And so that's usually anywhere from putting together the locations to hiring the talent to making sure everybody's there, all the crew, and then they are free to go off and be creative, and I get to sit back and just kind of go, okay.
Yeah.
It's all at least it's all there for them, and they don't have to worry about it. If anybody doesn't know what a producer does, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But you've also been a director.
But I have directed, and I started as an actor. And then when I started getting roles on things, I went, nope, I think I want to do that. And then eventually saying, I want to be the one that accepts the Best Picture award.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I do probably should give myself a little bit more credit than I usually
You
do.
should,
Because
yes.
there is a lot of creativity. And 9 times out of 10, being on set and doing certain things in the moment, I'll come up with an idea and I'll be, hey, let's try this.
Right.
And the director or whoever's, doing the action and working with the actors will incorporate that, and it usually works pretty well.
Yep.
Or makes it funny. I always like to try to make things funnier.
Yeah.
We all need more laughter.
We definitely
very
need more
true.
laughter. Yeah.
I definitely like to try to make things. Is funnier a word? More funny?
More funny.
More funny.
It's probably more correct.
Well, I found this quote by Andy Warhol that I thought was really good. And it kind of goes along with what we've just talked about. Don't think about making art, just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or hate it. While they are deciding, make even more art.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's a couple of great quotes you put here. I like this one. Whether you succeed or not, it's irrelevant. There is no such thing. Making your unknown known is the important thing. Georgia O'Keeffe.
I love that.
I love that because, boy, is that true.
And that's actually a really good quote from her,
Yeah.
considering her art. I
Yeah.
love that.
And she's amazing. Oh,
She is
yeah.
amazing.
You've got some good ones here.
There are some really good
Yeah,
ones.
Vincent-
I am seeking, I am striving, I am in it with all my heart. Vincent van Gogh.
And he was in it with all his heart.
Yeah.
But only one ear.
Well, he didn't say he was in it with all my ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
In it with all my head.
What does Degas say? Art is not what you see, but what you make others see.
Yeah, well,
That's good.
That's a good one.
I love that.
Yeah. And I like this one. Art is not a thing, it's a way. And that is by Albert Hubbard, who I don't know who Albert Hubbard is, but I really like what he had
He's
to
not
say.
the Scientologist, is he? No, that's
No.
L. Hubbard. I also love Ralph Waldo Emerson. Every artist was first an amateur.
Correct.
Right.
That's so true.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
start
And
somewhere.
sometimes,
Exactly.
and sometimes you get better, or sometimes you go, that's not my thing.
Yep.
I'm going to move on and do
I
something
think I'll
else.
try something different.
Which has happened. Like
Right.
watercolor.
Well,
it's hard.
Yeah, and the other, that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier about art being subjective. There are so many different art forms. Allie currently is baking bread.
Yeah.
Right?
I've never tried to pick up baking bread. There is an art form to it. There's definitely a science to it and an art form to it. You and I, Callie, being in the world of visual arts for so long, or performing arts for
Right.
so long, the level of artistry, even from not just the actors on the stage, but the crew.
Yeah.
I mean, they're also would be considered what they do an art
yeah.
form between the sound design
scenic
and the light
designers.
design.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just, even though it's more technical based, it's still definitely an art form. And one of the things that I have had the opportunity and the honor and privilege to be able to do is work with some really major people in the film industry that I would consider everything they do an art form, from the grip and electric crews to the production designer. And I've always said, for every one person you see in front of the camera, there's 10 behind the camera, and they're all artists. And one of the things that we've really tried to do with this podcast is incorporate those different art forms between the winemakers.
Right.
We're going to be in Walla Walla here in a couple weeks and spend time with the winemakers we've interviewed in the past. That is an art form.
Absolutely.
An amazing talent.
Yeah.
The knowledge is amazing too.
And thank God for them.
I know. Jesus.
Because we enjoy our wine.
Yes, we do.
Enjoy our wine.
Well, this woman, Amie McNee, said, start making stuff. We are born to create things. The act of making art is inherently generous. A lot of times you hear that art can be selfish. People keep it to themselves, or it's a selfish thing to do because I don't know what people think. Why would they think art is selfish? But it's actually quite generous. You're giving a part of yourself to yourself, maybe, or your family, or to the community. It is a generous
I can see
offering.
why they say that, because sometimes you're doing it by yourself. But that doesn't mean it's not good for you.
Right.
Because sometimes I think if I didn't have my studio or painting or my outlet of art and music and acting, and that I would probably be a little nuts.
Right.
A little crazy. I wouldn't even call it selfish. I just think it's probably good for you, you know, to find that thing that makes you happy, that gives you that joy, that you go, I'm going to take a little time for myself.
Well, that's the therapy that art brings.
Yeah.
It brings it to each of us, whether we are mentally ill or have a traumatic incident, or we're just humans that are trying to live. We always need a little.
And you know, once you leave school, as adults, it's hard to find that time, you know, because when you're in school, I mean, of course, I remember in elementary school, we had art class. We also had music. We had, I don't know what they have anymore in particular, but I hope that they still have those times where the kids go, let's get out the coloring books and color, and let's get out the music and play music while we color, or let's play Heads Up, 7 Up. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know exactly what happens anymore, but that's the stuff that I feel like we as adults don't let ourselves have time to just take a moment and go, I'm going to write a creative poem. I'm going to write a creative essay. You know, that
or
is,
even just journaling your thoughts.
right. It's all good.
Well, there's something very cathartic in it, right? Like you were mentioning earlier, Sharon going out and gardening, your mother-in-law going out and gardening. I bet you that's very cathartic
it
for her.
totally is.
And
Yes.
you know what, and everything that she's been through over the last year, it's probably been very therapeutic for
It
her
is.
as well. So
And then she gets the applause. You know, people go by and go, I love what you've done.
yeah,
And
it is beautiful.
I would call that the last step in the creative process, the
Yes.
evaluation.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
there's so
Yeah.
many great things. And I'm sure there's still a lot going around town. Starting
Actually,
today,
yeah.
there's the
today.
Artist Studio
Studio.
Tour, and it's 10 to 4. So in case you need something to do this weekend, it's a self-guided tour. It's free, and they have 16 studios. And we just want to remind you, you know,
get
there's
out
a
there.
lot of great artists
And go get inspired.
Yeah, it's always fun, and you get to see them in their own space.
And I
It's pretty-
think that information is artsandsandpoint.org.
For all your screen printing needs, trust the local you can count on. Pyramid Printing has been a Coeur d'Alene favorite for over 2 decades.
Specializing in screen printing, embroidery, signs, banners, and stickers. For all jobs, big and small, just give Eric a call.
Email us at info@pyramidprintingcda.com or give us a call at 208-664-0254.
PyramidPrintingCDA.com.
Ever feel like work and life are pulling you in opposite directions?
You are not alone. That's why we created Thrive, Learn, Connect, a podcast where personal growth meets professional success.
Each week, we share real conversations, insights, and actionable takeaways to help you navigate life and work with more ease, joy, and purpose.
Whether it's managing stress, building better relationships, or finding balance, we are here to help you thrive.
Listen to Thrive, Learn, Connect wherever you get your podcasts, because growth starts with connection.
So we've almost completed our 5th season,
Right.
which is pretty incredible if
I
you
know.
think about
I
it.
can't believe it.
I know.
I know. All the
crazy.
places we've been.
All the amazing people that we have met.
I know.
Yeah.
So many great people. Writers, musicians, artists,
Actors.
directors.
Directors. Yeah. I mean, it's just
You
crazy.
name it.
And organizations that are promoting the arts in some capacity.
Absolutely.
I just keep thinking about the day that we were in Boise and we went to the Idaho Shakespeare
yeah.
Oh,
Festival.
that was
and
so awesome.
played around on the stage while we waited for our guests to come and talk to us. And
Yeah. There's just been so many. It's the amount of creative people. And of course, it's not just our state. It's not just our area. It's everywhere you
it's
go.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You just have to step outside and look at what are you missing? Maybe you need to
Step outside and smell the oil paint.
or really step outside away from the oil paint.
Right. Okay, so back to your point, though, what I thought and what I've seen through the years, and it's been really kind of awesome to watch, is, I don't know if people really know what to expect when they come and do our show, right? I think they're thinking we might be too silly, or I don't know, which honestly is kind of one of the best parts about this show, is that it's we're quirky and we're funny and everything else, but you watch them transform and in the interview with you guys, and it reinvigorates their inspiration. And you go from, okay, well, we're not going to know what to talk about for 45 minutes. And the minute they sit down, it's just, what? And and they become more inspired because people are interested in what they're doing. And we are interested in what they're doing. So that's been really great to watch over the years. Because I did see that happen when we were interviewing the girls down at the Shakespeare Festival, Idaho Shakespeare Festival. Is I think at first they were like,
who are these guys?
Like, who are these people? And then by the end of the thing, we were all best friends. And they were so thankful that we are doing what we're doing, which is getting the word out there of all the different things to do in the area. If I ever hear one more person say, there's nothing to do in Coeur d'Alene.
I know.
And this is the issue, is sometimes there's not enough time
to do everything.
And we're tired and so we can't go out every night.
If you have something to say, please reach out to us, because we'd love to hear.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from anybody.
Anything you're doing in the near future that your organization wants to promote, that's creative, that you think people would be interested in, that maybe we haven't heard of. Because there's we don't know everything. That's for sure. So tell us. Follow us, subscribe.
And we hear from a lot of people saying that they love what we're doing. They appreciate the fact that we're doing it. So please, if you're listening, please follow, subscribe, or what's the other word? Share.
Do it all.
Yeah.
Share, get it out there.
We're the Allie and Callie Artcast, and you can find us at alliecallieartcast.com.
And on
all the streaming platforms.
And you can share those streaming platforms as well. You can share the podcast on those platforms as well. So we would love big sponsors.
Yes,
we would.
But this is, for us, it's definitely a labor of love.
It's a passion project right now.
Right.
We love doing it.
And
we'll keep doing it as long as we can.
Yep. So stay tuned.
We have some exciting shows coming up that we're really excited about. Ross Hall is going to be great. I cannot wait to do that. When we're in Walla Walla, we have a surprise guest, and I won't ruin it.
Right.
That'll be fun.
Just let that one stew.
We might promote that one right before, but we have a very exciting guest that we're excited to have on the show while we're in Walla Walla. This is all exciting.
Yeah.
Thanks for including me, you two.
You're back, Kristen. Thanks for being a part of On the Mic.
Well,
on the mic
with Allie and Callie.
We're a team. Yeah. So I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. And whatever you do today, make sure it's creative.
And go do something.
Make it.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is brought to you by Tubbs Coffee Roasters, ethically sourced, locally roasted coffee, and Pyramid Printing and Embroidery, serving customers near and far for over 2 decades.